Bing bap boom 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 bap bang. Bing bap boom 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 bap bang. Bing bap boom boom bap bang. Bing bap boom 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 bap bang.
That's how fast people scroll when your ad looks boring. It doesn't matter if your video is AI or real. If it doesn't hook your audience, they will go.
Whether you are promoting your clothing brand,
Or a beauty product, or even an AI app like Render Zero, you need to introduce imperfections and creativity to your ad like this.
Bing bap boom 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 bap bang.
In this video, I'm going to show you 3 things. First, how to get ChatGPT Image 2 to stop making glossy, fake-looking AI slop and instead create realistic UGC-style ad visuals. Second, how to turn a client brief into a full ad concept with scenes, consistency, and platform-native creative using Seedance 2.0. And third, how to actually turn this into an agency workflow without drowning in subscriptions, credits, and random tools. The reason most AI ads fail used to be because they looked fake and uncanny. Now with better AI models, it's because they look too good. UGC ads are not supposed to feel like a studio production. They should feel raw, natural, and a little imperfect. So instead of prompting for beautiful product photography or cinematic influencer content, you want to prompt for things like natural window light, handheld framing, slightly messy background, casual facial expression, uneven composition, selfie perspective. Now I'm going to put together an example for you, and I am using Render Zero Studio here, which makes it faster and easier to build your prompts and generate results, but you can follow along with this prompt in any app or platform. So we start off by defining the starting image. We can choose our shot type. We will go with a medium shot. Define our subject, a pretty woman but with natural blonde hair. Now this is the important part: skin imperfections, blemishes, and a slightly less symmetrical face. She is wearing subtle day makeup. AI image generators always push an image to the average, so you need to get specific to move it to a more realistic result. She is wearing a pink hoodie and a necklace. She has a Roman nose. She is sat in front of the camera, looking at the viewer and holding the smartwatch up to show it off. Then we can describe the environment, set in a modern bedroom. Not perfect, but tidy. Next, we can choose the lighting, and we can choose from a number of setups perfect for UGC, like motivated lighting, natural daylight, or we will use frontal ring light. To prompt this properly, you will write: the scene is illuminated by frontal ring light out of frame with catch lights, but important, don't show the ring light is in the shot. Then we will add raw and unfiltered to atmosphere/mood. We then choose the camera, and we will say captured with the look of a modern iPhone Pro camera. We will then add some effects. Overexposed. This takes away the perfectly balanced lighting you get with AI images. People make mistakes when filming at home, and they usually aren't experts, so you will want to emulate that with your image. The trick is not making AI look better, it's making it look less like AI. I'm just going to change the aspect ratio here to 9:16 so it works for TikTok or YouTube Shorts. Now we have our full prompt here. You'll notice that we were able to just decide on styles and lighting by clicking on them, and the app filled in the rest of the prompt. If you are using a different provider, the full prompt is a photographic image of a medium shot of a pretty woman but with natural blonde hair, skin imperfections, blemishes, and a slightly less symmetrical face. She is wearing subtle day makeup. She is wearing a pink hoodie and a necklace. She has a Roman nose. She is sat in front of the camera, looking at the viewer and holding the smartwatch up to show it off. Set in a modern bedroom, not perfect but tidy. The scene is illuminated by frontal ring light out of frame with catch lights, but important, don't show the ring light is in the shot, creating a raw and unfiltered atmosphere. Captured with the look of a modern iPhone Pro camera. Applied effect. Overexposed. Don't blur faces randomly. The image should be in a 9:16 format. You can copy this prompt and use it directly in ChatGPT to create your image. But this is crucial, don't. If you want the best results from GPT Image 2, using it in the basic app will kill it, because if you don't have a Pro $200 subscription, it will generate the image at low quality and you will get blotchiness like this in your image. Other providers like Render Zero Studio have the ability to change the resolution up to 4K and the quality to low, medium or high, eliminating that noise in most cases. And because it's pay for what you use, you don't need to fork over hundreds of dollars in subscriptions. So I've chosen my API provider here as fal.ai, and the model is GPT Image 2, and I've set resolution to 1K and quality to high, and now I'm going to queue the image. You can see here in the render queue the status of the image, and after a few minutes we've got our result, which I'm really happy with. Let's get serious for a moment though and look at this as a real ad project. If you want to run an AI UGC agency, then you need to get good at listening to your clients. You need to ask for a client brief, and it should answer the following questions for you. I've put a client questions checklist in the comments down below, but you want to understand the product, the creative direction, and the assets they are expecting from you. They may want a series with the same character across YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook, and each one of these platforms will need an ad in a different aspect ratio. They may want it to be an instructional video or benefit focused, or maybe just a woman in her bedroom saying how amazing a smartwatch is. Once you know the answers to this, you can plan a killer ad campaign. You can figure this out yourself, or you can get a head start by taking the client brief, paste it into ChatGPT, and ask it to do the work an agency strategist and creative director would normally do first. Ask it to analyze product, identify audience, pain points, desires, generate 3 ad angles, generate hooks, write a short UGC-style script, break it into shots/scenes. This becomes your ad script, and you can start taking those scenes into your chosen AI generation platform. So we've got our image. In a moment, I'll show you how to make this actually a video with Seedance 2.0. But let's just take this to one side and let's now think what happens if we have a very specific product that we want to use. Right now, we've got a very generic watch. What if we actually need to sell a real product? So we can actually quickly do that using Render Zero Studio. And we can do that without having to recreate our character either. So the first thing I'll do is get an image of our product. Now, if you're working with a client, they will have sent you, or you should have definitely asked them for images of their product. And you'll want the images from a couple of angles just in case. But let's just say that this serum from Alibaba, I'm going to come here and I'm going to take an image where the product is quite clean, and I'm going to save that image. Let's see, I've already saved an example here, so I'll use that. So we've got our image. We also already have a character, which is the girl that we created in the last generation. So in here, before we actually describe any of the other things, we go down to the element tool at the bottom and we can actually upload a character. So I loaded in the image of the person. We don't need to change her outfit, but if we wanted to, we could definitely do that. Actually, let's just do it for the demonstration. And then object, we're going to choose the serum that we had before. You can see how Render Zero has started to build the prompt now already. We're going to come up here and we're going to say at character 1, the blonde woman is showing off a beauty product serum to camera. We don't have to re-describe the character here properly because we have an image reference. We will still want to choose the shot type though, medium shot. We'll re-describe the room and then we'll go to our lighting again. We'll stick to what we had before because it worked well. Ring lights, camera gear, iPhone again. Okay, now we've got that ready. We can generate our image, make sure that we've got the right aspect ratio, 9:16. We are going to use one of our providers. Let's go with fal.ai GPT Image 2, 1K high quality, and let's see that image. It's perfect, looks very believable, and she is wearing the dress and holding the actual product. Quick tip. If the text on a small item becomes difficult to read, redo your image in 2K or 4K to get that detail back. Now for the important part, how do we turn this into a video? In this app, it's super easy. I'll show you one way to prompt your video. First, switch over to the video tab. Here we've got our provider, and underneath that you'll see 6 options: text to video, image to video, audio-driven video, multimodal video, reference video, and start and end frame. These are just quick ways to get to the right type of model for the workflow you want. If you're doing image to video, click here and you'll see it automatically pulls in your start frame. It looks like it's showing 16:9 here, but don't worry about that. You can change it to 9:16, and when it renders, it'll use the correct image format. Once you've chosen the tool type, you can select your model here. We're using Seedance 2, but you've also got LTX, Kling, Pixverse, Happy Horse, Grok, and more. If you were creating something like a lip sync video, you'd switch to audio-driven video. Here you've got options like Kling Lip Sync, LTX, audio to video, and others. And that's only on the FAL provider. If you switch to Key, for example, you'll get additional options like Infinity Talk. WaveSpeed also has other models available, including LTX 2.3 Lip Sync. Reference to video is another interesting one. This works with models like Seedance 2, Kling 3.0, Kling 2.6, Motion Control, One Animate, Pixverse Swap, and Grok Imagine Video. You can upload multiple reference images and build a prompt around them. Right now we've got a start frame loaded in, but you can clear that and upload a new image if you want. I want to stick with our smartwatch example, and we're going to use Seedance 2. Now, we wouldn't want to reuse this exact image prompt because it doesn't contain much motion detail, so I'll copy the original and paste it in here in a moment. If I click the autofill from image tool, it pulls in all the information about the lighting, environment, and style, then drops it into this guided prompt helper. We can also choose camera movement. There are loads of predefined movements available, but for this shot we don't want movement, so we'll use a static lock-off shot. The style settings are already there. We don't need music or sound effects for this, but we do want her speaking to camera. We'll also paste in the full description of her appearance and outfit from the original prompt. Then under action we'll add, the woman shows the watch and smiles. She says, "I love this watch. It has this cool display and it's so cheap." We also have the option to add constraints, which are basically predefined negative prompts, but we won't use those right now. Once the prompt is ready, hit Build Prompt and it'll populate the final video prompt automatically. Another tip, don't make the video too long. If you stretch it out too much, the model starts filling the extra time with nonsense dialogue. You want the spoken line to match the timing naturally. So keep the clip roughly the length it would actually take someone to say those words. For this, about 8 seconds should work. Then we cue the video, and here's the result. Let's watch it.
I love this watch. It has this cool display and it's so cheap.
The accent isn't quite British, but it looks good. Another useful trick. This already gives us a great result, but if you wanted her to show the product in more detail, or you didn't want the video to begin exactly on the start frame, you could use reference to video instead. You'd upload the image of her as the first reference image, then upload the product image as the second. You could even upload a third image showing the product from another angle. Then in the prompt, you'd reference them directly. For example, you could write, the woman in image 1 holds up the smartphone from image 2, then turns the smartwatch from image 3 to show the back. And the model will follow those references. Here is the result of that approach, and you'll see how it has a bit of variation from the start image version.
I love this watch. It has this cool display and it's so cheap.
You'll notice it got the accent spot on, and that pause at the beginning was really interesting and felt real. Here are a few additional scenarios for you. The client loves the video but wants it to be longer. We can do that. What we can do is first, with our result video, click the Save Last Frame button, then in the Multimodal tab, we can bring in our saved last frame image of the girl, our product shot, and then also the previous video as a reference as well. Then in our prompt, we can build it out again, and in the subject write, continue the video of the girl from the starting frame in image 1. It continues from the end of video reference 1. Then in action, she takes a deep sigh and looks a bit annoyed. She then says in her British accent, "I've forgotten my lines again. Set the length and generate." When you get the result, be prepared to have your mind blown.
I've forgotten my lines again.
If I put them together, you'll see how well it worked.
I love this watch. It has this cool display and it's so cheap. I've forgotten my lines again.
So it's really close. There is a slight oddity where the frame changes size, but you could mask that. And the flow between the clips is really good, and the voice and acting remains consistent. Now we have one more scenario. The client has given you a pre-recorded voiceover to use with the video. That's easy too. We go to the audio-driven tab, upload our start image. Then here we upload our provided audio.
Okay, I'm ready to go. Let's do this. This watch is so cute. I wouldn't be able to function without it. Is that right? Am I doing the line right?
We can see the waveform for the audio, and you can hear that it includes parts we don't need, so we can trim it by dragging the ends. We update our prompt to reflect that she now says the words from audio 1, and we put the dialogue in quotation marks. Build the prompt again. When we generate this, we get this result.
This watch is so cute. I wouldn't be able to function without it.
Now you will see that the result with Seedance is the right dialogue, it is the right voice, but the delivery has shifted slightly. It sounds and looks great, but if it's really important that the audio is an exact match, then this is perhaps where swapping to another model would be beneficial. Doing that is easy. Just select something like Kling or LTX and run it again with the same prompt and audio attachment. This is the part nobody tells you about. Once you start doing this properly, the problem isn't making ads anymore. It's everything around it. You've got one tool charging $200 a month, another charging credits, another charging per generation. And none of them talk to each other. So now you're trying to figure out how much did this project actually cost me? And more importantly, how do I charge the client for that? Because right now, most people are just guessing. They charge per project, throw a number out, and hope there's margin left at the end. But as this space becomes more professional, that doesn't work anymore. Clients expect clarity. They expect structure. They expect to know what they're paying for. And the reality is, pricing in this space is all over the place. Real UGC ads can cost anywhere from $150 to $800 to film. On Fiverr, people are selling AI UGC ads for $10, all the way up to a few hundred. And I've seen agencies charge $25,000 plus for full AI ad campaigns. So clearly the price isn't the tool. It's your positioning, your workflow, and how professional your service feels. What you can control is your system. And this is where something like Render Zero actually helps. Instead of everything being scattered across different platforms, you can create projects, keep your work organized, and actually track what each client costs you. You can see your generation spend per project, which means you can bill clients properly. Not guess. You still pay for the generations you use. But now you've got visibility, you've got structure, and you're running this more like a real service, and not just experimenting with AI toys. Because the people who win in this space long term aren't the ones with the coolest prompts. They're the ones who can turn this into a system clients actually trust and pay for. You can find the link to Render Zero in the description and pinned comment below. And if you want to see a full video tutorial on how to create AI images in Render Zero, here is a link for that.